And welcome back to another BobBlast. Hi, I'm Bob Burridge. And this one is all about the word monochromatic. It's just another way of starting a painting. You can approach a painting so many different ways, but this is a good one. It's real simple. It has to do about monochromatic, which is one color and all the different shades of gray. For instance, here are some shades of gray. From the darkest dark to the lightest light, whether you're doing a scene or a still life or fruits and vegetables, landscapes, you're still dealing with all the different values. So, but that's just black and white. What happens when you add color to it? It's still a monochromatic with all the different shades of that color. For instance, this was a black and white painting. I had all the shades down, the darkest dark, the lightest light, and voila, add some of that Holbein gold colors to it, transparent color, because I already had the different values down. You see, the grayscale already established in my black and white. After that had dried, all I had to do was put in a transparent color. Voila, done. It's another way of painting, a great way of getting started, working with monochromatics. Let me do one for you right now, and I'll show you the difference between the different colors in monochromatic. Shades of gray, the value scale. We've all done it or refused to do it, but let me show you real fast what it means. When we say a color value is 10, 5, or 0, you're going to see a value all the way around. So here we go. Here's some black acrylic, my Holbein black acrylic, big buckets of water. Move this out of the way. So if I put this straight down, pure black, 100%. That's a value of 10. I know you know this stuff, but it's good to be reminded. Now I'm going to start adding some water to this as we get down the line. See, it gets a little bit brighter. And even more so. Even more so. And all the way down to just pure water. Just pure water. There you go. So that's your grayscale, shades of one color. So it can either be black or any of the other colors. And you do one of these, it's a great way to practice. So when we say a midtone, well, 5 is your midtone of that color. All right, pretty simple. Now, having gotten that across, that's only talking about the 10 values. When you do a painting, try to stick with 10 values, no more than that. It gets to be pretty muddy after that. So for instance, let me show you one with a color. This would be the red. This is the Pyro Red. 100%. Now this is the part that actually gets to be pretty fun because it's a great color, great, wonderful, thick, juicy color. Oh my gosh. The pigment in this color is unbelievable. So, let's see what it looks like with the white added to it. It's not going to be as dark, you see? And what would happen if we start adding some black to that, just like we talked about. I know some people say never add black. I like to say, why not? They sell it in the art store. So there you go. So this is really the version of that. And this is the version of that. You can do an incredibly fantastic painting with just those values of every one of the colors. In fact, while you're at it, you might want to make one of your own. Either one like I have back here called the Flower Shop Girl, all done with different values of a brown and sepia and gray. So you can do a beautiful painting just like that. But some of the colors will either be all about blue This will be your palette. Instead of red, it might be blue. Or instead of blue, it might be, start off with a pink. See what happens. We're talking monochromatic, really gentle, elegant color combinations. This is kind of a universal design theory, not mine. You can also start off with a green palette. Green, and see what happens here. Or there's your beige and brown palette, like I have in the back wall, or the black, gray, and white palette, which you could do beautifully, I think, just like the ones I have up there in the back wall. Okay? Now, let me show you one more thing. So, I have taken one of the paintings off the back wall. I've already established the values, the darkest darks, the lightest lights, and all the other midtones. In this case, it's black and white. So here's the cool thing. You can take a translucent color. Make sure you look at the label. It will say translucent or transparent. And you can put it on top of this, and now we're going to turn it into a colorful painting. Amazing. The painting has already dried. I've already established my focal point somewhere around in there. Here's the color. This happens to be marigold and lots of water. Say goodbye. And paper towels are fun too. Just rubbing it in here. Completely change this whole painting. Wiping it away. This paint, by the way, can take a beating. See, I'm really rubbing it into this paper. Kilimanjaro paper, of course. That does take a beating. Kilimanjaro 300-pound watercolor paper. There you go. Isn't that just great? Here's another transparent color. While I'm at it, may as well. Yeah, just another color just to spark it up just a little bit. I'm not doing the entire painting, just to warm it up just a little bit with a transparent hot pink. There you go. Now, let me go ahead and do an entire painting. So even though I keep talking about monochromatics, these are my monochromatics, and they are. And remember, I added just a little bit of a shade of another color just to kick it up a little bit. Give it some je ne sais quoi, or something like that. So it's fun to do that with collage paper on it, and scraping and scratching, and some rubbing alcohol, experimentation, that kind of a thing. And it all holds together because it is monochromatic. Let's go over to the other black and whites that turned into color, because I put transparent color on top of these. These were black and whites, believe it or not. And then I added more collage work, drawing in there, and more of a tinted hue of a color. You know, I can't wait to get started and do one. Here we go. Knowing that I'm going to be working as dramatically, the red being the primal color, and now all the variations of that will be just to speed up things in here. I'm going to add some hot pink to it. That'll be the lighter side of my red, like I showed you in that chart. And yellow, I'm adding some yellow to the red just so I have more variations of the shades of that one red. And of course I have my black and my yellow. Let's get started. I always start with a large brush. This is a 2-inch brush. Big buckets of water over to my right. Paper towels over here. This is strictly abstract. I'm going to start with the mid-tone of the red. This is the Kilimanjaro paper. 140. It takes a beating. That's what I like about it. So dominant color here is, of course, it's going to be, there we go, red-ish. Get rid of all the other brushes. Don't need them yet. I work fast. I like standing up. When I stand up, I can see it better. I'm further away. I'm adding a little bit of pink in the center here. This is going to be the focal point. At least I've chosen that to be the focal point. Adding some yellow in here, as if it were glowing. Oh boy, that yellow on top of that opera, and then the pyro red. The whole thing is starting to spin. Let's brush all over the place. And I'm just using red. This is still monochromatic, but like I've shown you in the demo, I'm adding a little bit of black to this, just to make it even more dramatic. It's still monochromatic. Adding water to it now. Oh man, I'm gonna add a whole lot of white over in here, because I want to simplify. And do something I don't normally do, which is do something I've never seen myself ever having done before. Now some scraping, drawing. It certainly has taken a turn, hasn't it? I'm going to be soft over here. Still red, still the heavy color red of, but soft. Now it's a soft voice. Dramatic voice over here, softer. This is beautiful. This is Gregorian chant. This is Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, Chorale Symphony, something like that. I can even go softer. Well, drama, just like Beethoven. Drama in here. You can't miss this focal point. It's away from all the noise. This is what I mean when I say the focal point should whisper sometimes. And this is whispering. Monochromatic. There's all the different values right there. Jumping all over the place, screaming loud. I'm out in the city park, quiet, meditating. It has a journey, a story, monochromatic. Well, there you are, folks. Try these colors that I talked about. Remember, they're palettes. They're kind of universal truths. Can't even say that word here. Try it. Bigger brushes, more water. Have a good time doing simple black and whites. Put color on it later. Have fun. See you at the next BobBlast.